Okay, so you see on the back of your test strip bottle that there are some lines here with different colors. And please notice there are numbers there. I get calls all the time saying, oh, mine don't have numbers. They do have numbers, they're just small. So you're going to take out a strip, those strips in here. Make sure not to get any of them wet, but you take it out and there'll be an empty part where you're gonna put your fingers. Try not to touch the pads and dip them into the water. Try and reach down a little bit farther, not just to the very top, so that you can get it a little bit deeper. And dip them into the water, take it right back out, and then hold it like horizontal like this, and kind of wait about 10 to 15 seconds for the colors to change, and then match them up right away. Because if you wait longer, like if you set it down and then come back a few minutes later, or test it and then call me and 5 minutes later we're talking about the colors, it will have changed. So you have to notice the colors right at about at that 15-second point. So line up the strip next to the jar, and you'll see that the top one is your pH test. So you're going to want to be aiming for a pinkish orange color. See where the word OK is? Between the 7.2 and the 7.8 on that top line? That's the range you want to be in all the time, is that little space in between the color of the 7.2 and the color of the 7.8. So a little more pink, not just orange. Sorry for the phone call. And so don't be riding, even though there's arrows that go down to below the 7.2 and above the 7.8, do not ride the colors of the edges of those arrows. We want to be in between the 7.2 and the 7.8, because 7.5 is the number that our eyes and our skin are happiest at. We don't want to be down in the orange or light orange colors, and we don't ideally want to be up in the super pink colors. But if it's temporarily up that high right after you shock it with a jug of liquid, then that's okay, because sometimes that will mess with the test temporarily, because liquid chlorine is very high in pH. So first line, we want 7.5 ideally, so we want to be pinkish orange between the 7.2 and 7.8, right where the word OK is. And if you kind of follow a line down the next two from that word OK, you'll see that your next line is your chlorine. We want to always see a little purple. It doesn't have to be dark purple like the 10, but we always want to see some purple. So aim to kind of keep it between a 3 to a 5, somewhere around there. If you've got some mineral system or something like that on your pool, you can keep it more between the 1 and the 3, but I always aim to have about a 3, so I have some room to fall and still be above 1. So kind of aim for straight down between the OK on the pH to the number 3. And then same thing, follow it down to the third line. That's our alkalinity test. And for alkalinity, we also want to be where it says OK there. But I get so many people that ride that 80, and then when more acidic things happen like rain or chlorine pucks and that sort of thing, then they end up dipping down below 80, and that's just too low. So I aim for that blue-green 120 color, so that if we do get a rainy day or something, we're still above 100. So kind of aim for the word OK at the top, the number 3 for chlorine, and the blue-green 120 for alkalinity. That bottom line, I usually just tell you to totally ignore that, because it's pretty known to be a pretty unreliable test on the test strips for stabilizer. We see where it says ideal, that's usually the highest. We ideally want to see it. If it ends up following that straight line down and being more like 100, 150, then we've got to do some tweaking to our other numbers. So if you're getting high levels like that, just give me a call and let me know, and we'll talk about that in more detail. But if you see it at totally 0, if your water's not stirred up yet, then that's okay, we won't listen to that. But if you see a little bit of orange, then you're fine, and you don't need to worry about that for the rest of the season. You can just ignore that bottom line if you're at that second orange color. Okie doke, so that's water testing. And if the numbers aren't where they're supposed to be, then we've got to add some product, okay? So then you can just give me a call with the pool size and we'll talk about dosing. All right? Good luck. Bye.